All right, Andy, let's get this started. You know what I mean? It's a early. I don't know if it's early morning, but it's early afternoon for you, right? What do you usually do on a what's today? Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah. What does your schedule look like on a Tuesday?
Well, this morning I did cardio, sprints on the incline, weights, and then I have the podcast with you. And then at 12 I have a mid session. Then I'll eat lunch and take a nap before I do my second session for the day.
Yeah, you've been training for a long time, and things can get boring sometimes. How do you keep? What's the worst part of training camp for you? You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lot of good things, but there's some bad.
It's actually been fun. After COVID, we were all fighters were on break and stuff like that, and then I finally got back into it. It was fun switching from MMA to like strictly only Muay Thai, and then like from Muay Thai to back to MMA, and then back to bare knuckle. So I did bare knuckle MMA, and then bare knuckle boxing, and then back to MMA. So I keep it. I mean, it's fun now. I'm at the point where it's just like I could change it up. That's what makes it fun because now you have to refrain from doing what you're used to doing, and it just gets tricky. I'm just glad I haven't kicked during like boxing yet.
Oh yeah. Well, boxing is open for you. You know what I mean? You've done pretty much everything under the sun. And it has been incredible. Your last four fights, you went from Muay Thai to bare knuckle MMA to MMA to bare knuckle boxing. Now you're going to go back to MMA. Do you see any other fighters out there that are doing what you're doing?
um, Not really. Not really.
Exactly, right?
I wish they came out with Muay Thai, bare knuckle Muay Thai, but then it's called a different art when you're doing bare knuckle Muay Thai. So then I
Yeah.
was like, well, why don't we do bare knuckle kickboxing? So I asked my boss that, David Feldman, and he's like, we're thinking about it. I'm like, well, put me on the list. That would be so much fun.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of those, fighters that are competing for bare knuckle, they're having a lot of fun. Bare
Yeah.
knuckle, there's bare knuckle boxing and there's bare knuckle MMA, right? You've done both. Is bare knuckle MMA the closest thing to real fighting as we're gonna get?
Yes, because anything goes pretty much, except
Mhm.
for kicking the opponent on the ground. That's only allowed in like Japan, but yeah, pretty much
You-
because yeah, you could do anything. I wish there was more bare knuckle MMA female fighters out there because I want I miss fighting on Game Bread and stuff like that. BKFC pays more, but it doesn't matter. I'm not doing it for money. If I was doing it for money, then I'm in the wrong sport sometimes.
I think On top of that, I think you're the only woman to ever compete in bare knuckle MMA and bare knuckle boxing. So, how helpful is the bare knuckle experience in your fight against Crystal Lawson in Game Bread?
um, I remember. I remember I was getting my hand or my wrist wrapped, not my hands, but I was like, gosh, this feels so much better. Like sometimes the promotion will give you like brand new MMA gloves
Mhm.
and it's like stiff and everything. And I'm trying to like, mash it and it's so stiff. And then you have all this tape and gauze and it feels like you're cutting off the circulation of your pinky and your thumb. And there's none of that at all. It's just like this. It's just like this. And it just feels more natural. And then that's scary because I didn't think I was going to like it this much.
Yeah, I think that could have a psychological effect on you, right? Like your wrists and your hands are not protected like normal, like you're used to, right? In every fight ahead of a fight, so it could be a shock. Like a lot of the people that are competing at bare knuckle MMA, they've never done bare knuckle before.
Oh, yeah, of course not. Then because it's a new sport and everything, you have to be technical to not get cut. I'm going to get cut sooner or later. I know I will because
Mhm.
I've been cut before
Yeah.
during regular MMA. But yeah, so
All right. Well, you got this fight coming up, right? On August 27th, MMA, back to MMA. You're facing Larissa Carvalho. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
she is from Brazil. I just fought another Brazil girl before that too. She's a very good striker, an elite striker. I don't know much about her ground game, but I mean she is from Brazil, so I'm pretty sure like she's got that too. But I think it's going to be an
Mhm.
exciting fight. The fans always love, you know, a lot of action going on, and I just can't wait for my return and get on the winning column for Palace because I signed a 3-fight deal with them and I signed a 3-fight deal with Bare Knuckle Boxing.
Mhm.
but both of them are non-exclusive, so it kind of like it works out really well.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You have a perfect situation if you want to compete in both avenues. And you were, like you said, you were at the inaugural event earlier this year. You know, the fight didn't go your way, but how was the overall experience, the
Oh,
promotion?
I love it. I was winning the fight. You know, I got gassed. They changed my opponent, not really last minute, like the last 4 weeks of it. So I wasn't really training for 5 rounds. But I had to save the card. It was actually we ended up being a main event. Because there was, Sarah Kaufman was supposed to be the main event, and I was supposed to just fight like a normal fight, but I will fill in a card. I will save a card if I have to. I'll do anything. Fighting's my life. I love it. I enjoy it. It keeps me sane. It keeps me disciplined. It keeps me in shape. I'm really fortunate to have sponsors that care about me and help me do what I love to do. And I'm like 40 years old, and I'm just enjoying the journey.
Training camp. I've seen you training at Combat Club. Also, you mentioned Fitness Edge. How do you split your time between the two teams?
Okay, so I started off in Myrtle Beach Fitness Edge MMA, and the one thing I had to go by was who's going to corner me. So in order to enter Canada, you have to be vaccinated, and there's a lot of people that's still not vaccinated. So the guy that I wanted to go corner me, he's in the military, so he has to go to Virginia to do some schooling. So now I'm using my old teammate that I've traveled with before, and I could distinguish his voice from far away since I've been with him for over 10 years. So that's from Fitness Edge MMA. So I switch it back and forth. It's only 2 hour and a half ride, and I have teammates that really just help me out with whatever I need. They're really really giving.
Who are these teammates? Give them some love.
So it's Maria Rios, and then Mark. I don't know, it's like Mark Lee. Sorry, I always like type in Texas Pete because that's his social media name. Emily Keck and Fontini, Tomar Washington, call him Tebow. Anthony Vivas will be holding the mid session for me today. So I just work as much as I can with different bodies too, different scenarios. I've been in this thing for over a decade now, so you pretty much just have to be prepared for any case scenario.
What are the keys to longevity? You've been fighting for a long time. You fought for so many different promotions around the world and different disciplines as well. It's something that you can pass down to the next generation of fighters, because you see a lot of fighters retiring now.
Yeah. I know sooner or later I'm going to have to retire. Luckily, I already had kids out the way. So I know a lot, like Nina Nasanoff, Nina Nunes. She was like, she want babies, And then somebody else also said that they wanted babies too, and they're retiring soon. I don't want that day to retire. Oh my God, it's going to be such a sad day. I would say we just had Glover Texeria over in Myrtle Beach, and he said the same thing that I was thinking. As you're older now, you already spar hard when you're younger. You don't have to have that sparring hard for the longevity. You don't need to get punched in the face like all the time. You kind of know it's coming now. You need to pick. You need to be picky with your training partners. You don't want to go with somebody a little bit too big, to avoid injuries. I have to avoid injuries. I have to listen to my body to tell myself. I have to tell myself to rest. And so that's the difference. Yeah, you have to listen to your body. Not the kind of laziness, though. Not the one that says, let's just stay home. No, not that kind where your body's just like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. That voice.
Let's say somebody wanted to fight in their 40s, like for the first time. Would you recommend them to spar hard, or would you say the same and say limit your sparring?
Oh, they have to spar. I don't think they want to spar hard. They'll just, especially if they start off, well, it's going to be amateurs. So hopefully they just start off with like the IKF kickboxing with headgear. I don't know. Because I started pretty late. I started at 28, Yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't say not do it. I would not say that because you need to get your feet wet. It's a sport. It's fun. Whatever. Football's even more dangerous. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, some people, they want a taste of that. They want that feeling. I mean, at least once in their life of going out there and having nobody. Well, there's one person between you and another person and just competing. Just going hand to hand combat. I think a lot of people chase that.
Yeah, it's definitely a euphoric feeling. It's the greatest high.
So how do you see yourself winning this fight coming up? You know, how do you envision yourself, you know, taking that victory?
So last time I wasn't acclimated. I came in like Thursday night, midnight, basically weigh-in day. And so I wasn't acclimated. We're next to the Rockies. I've been training with the elevation mats, even though it's not the same thing. Thank God. Jenica Willer is flying me in early, a week early, because I told her that last time. I was like, please send me in early, because I was not acclimated and I was so gassed towards the end of the fight. So I'm prepared and I'm excited. I get to travel around the world. One of my sponsors is, you know, flying in too. So no pressure there.
Is there pressure when sponsors fly in?
Yeah, especially this one.
Yeah. Okay.
He's funny and he's crazy. He's like my friend now. You know, we text each other, you know, all the time now, and it's like, dang it, you know, because I don't want to disappoint him, you know, and he puts a lot of energy on me, and you know, put me up in a high pedestal, and I think it's all mental on my part, but I still want my sponsors and my friends and my fans to be proud, you know, and for them taking their time to tune in and stuff like that, because I can't sit there and watch UFC fights all night long. I won't. People always ask me, who do you think is going to fight this weekend? I'm like, if I've never trained with you, especially a male, because there's so many males, there's just too many for me to keep up. If I never trained with you, or never went to your seminar, or never met you, or anything like that, I'm probably not going to watch the fights. I like to be in bed by 8:30. I am 40. I like to be in bed by 8:30, you know, fight insomnia till about 10:30, 11 p.m. And then I finally go to bed, and I'm up at like 5:50, 6 a.m., you know, drinking coffee. So that's, yeah. I might
This
not
sounds
act
like a
it 'cause
normal
I'm
schedule.
immature, but trust me, my body feels
it. Now, where's the next stop after Palace? Do you have something scheduled coming up? Anything else lined up?
I do. So October 1st, it'll be back to BKFC, Bareknuckle Boxing.
All right. Hey, that division, that women's division in BKFC is starting to become, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's phenomenal, like the attention that you guys are getting, and the fights are insane. But before that, August 27th, Palace, they're having their second show. Thank you, Andy, so much for the time. All the best in the fight.
Thank you for having me.